Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division with various wind, giving you my best advice on how to attack this course and the holes that we are playing. Before we have a closer look at all the content, if you do enjoy the free content that I do provide here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that are looking for more free content, you can go to goldclashtommy.com where we have loads more as well. But those players that are looking to step up even more than that, then you can scan the QR code or you use the link patreon.com/goldclashtommy. You can find in the description down below. There you can go to our platform where we do have our premium guides. There we help thousands of players every single season in Gold Clash to have more fun and improve their game at the same time. Checkpoint challenge, tour play, tournament play, we have something for everyone, so check it out. Last but not least, if you want to follow along a little bit easier in this playthrough with the shots that I'm taking, then you can use the information in the info box there on the right hand side. Club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Those are just suggestions though, so you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there's always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1 of the Nordic Fjords here, we always want to have tailwind, because that means that we can send it, and we can actually send it for a chance for a hole-in-one. Now, the hole-in-one is going to be very difficult to get, because there is a lot of bumps on the fairway, and there is some risk for some small glitch holes by the green. Starting at P10 max rest, and you can see that I'm using quite a bit of backspin as well. This because I do obviously want to slow the ball down once it hits the fairway the first time. And I rather feel like having a ball with very little wind resistance to land as close to the green possible with a lot of backspin is better than landing further away and to use less backspin. Because how I read scenarios like this or the wind angles like this on this type of play is that the lesser backspin we use, the more risk we have to have some sort of glitch roll. So I rather want to have a more controlled scenario where I'm using more backspin. Max curl to the right, and you can see that we are almost having a slow needle even if we're using a berserker ball. What you need to have in mind as well is, like, if you do send it or play in any other way that you end up by the green, then it's EB school plus 20 percent elevation, and if you do have a crosswind or headwind off tee, you're most likely going to have to lay up for a short iron, and then the short iron plays with plus 10% elevation instead. Hole number 2 is most definitely the best chance to drop an hole-in-one of the 3 par 3s of the Nordic Fjords. You can play this in so many different ways, whereof I would say in a crosswind and a headwind you're gonna play with a driver, and when it comes to a tailwind we're gonna play with a wood club. P6 max rest, we do have the white ring to the right by the sand, applying a little bit of left spin together with a 2.1 top spin. Then when it comes to the true elevation, when it comes to this particular par 3, we judge this to be plus 15. Obviously the elevation and the club setting, so is min, mid, max, then that's going to vary depending on what type of wind direction and what type of setup you're trying to follow. But true elevation plus 15 is what we are looking for. There is a very nice funnel on the green. If you would have the time at some point in practice to wiggle around a little bit with the ball guideline onto the green, you will see that the ball guideline is very kind, so to speak. So even if you go coming in a little bit right to left, or you're coming in left to right, there's definitely some really good chances to get this ball consistently to drop with very few wind angle tweaks. Hole number 3, a par 5, and here if we do have any sort of wind, this is not going to be a gimme at all. Because the thing is here, my friends, is like if we do have a strong tailwind, we could push the ball to go over all the water over to the, the long second fairway, so a little bit more to the left. But if we do have just a minor tailwind or just a crosswind or a headwind, we are going to have to lay up on the fairway pad to the right. And that's easier said than done, because with all these, slopes down into the water, it's going to definitely change a lot of things with the shot, because once we do pull from a higher to a lower point, we're going to lose distance, and therefore have to think about that when we are trying to compensate for that type of drop. The drive here in this little headwind, max plus 10, using some side spin together with top spin to get over to the fairway pad. The further down we roll on this fairway pad, the easier, or like easier might be the wrong word, the less hard the second shot is going to be. If you do have a tailwind, where, like I said, we can blast it over to the fairway that is over all the water, and when it comes to doing that, you're most likely going to have to use a ball that either has topspin boost, or you have a higher upgraded club such as a high level Thor's hammer or an Apocalypse. Second shot from here, where we did lay up, is a sniper, super difficult one to drop from distance, and this type of shot, especially when playing over the water, is going to be played with a lot of elevation, especially if your intention is to play with the ball guideline to hole. If you are not having the intention to play with the ball guideline to hole, you can offset as much as you like. Obviously, that's going to have an impact on the complete adjustment that you are doing. So if you're offsetting in this particular scenario more right, then the less adjust you're going to have to do. But there's always a benefit from aiming towards the hole, and that is that you can then bring yourself some consistency in terms of you can bring some consistency in terms of knowing that you are always correct with your ball guideline, because using an offset is always going to be very subjective. After the adjustment, it's time to try to hit perfect with our sniper, which is also easier said than done. Lands on the fairway and rolls up towards the pin, and this is definitely, from this type of long distance, consider a bonus alba if it drops. Hole number 4 of the Nordic Fjords, I would say a backspin boost shot here is the preferred way of going about it. And the reason for that is the fact that we do have a very nice spot if rolling back down the green. You can, of course, bounce up towards the pin in various different ways. You can go for a rough bump as well. But after been playing this particular hole for so long, or like for so many times, the backspin boost play is usually where everything becomes settled into in the end. Using a P2 ball at max rest with the rocket, and using like 3.8 backspin boost and with some right spin, gives us a very nice way to funneling it down towards the hole. Now, spins will most definitely vary depending on what type of wind direction you have. If you have a tailwind, obviously you're gonna use more backspin boost than when you're having a headwind. And if you do have a headwind, the rocket will be a difficult club to play with, because you obviously don't really have as much power. And then it's preferred to swap to a Thor's hammer or to an Apocalypse instead, so you do have more room to adjust. Tough little hole, especially if you're not able to use a backspin boost ball. Take your game to the next level with our Ultimate Tournament text guide for Expert and Master Division for the Aurora Tournament, a full 9 of the Nordic Fjords. Nordic Fjords feels like a course that we played so many times, but it's actually quite long ago since we played with the regular pins. We have had the new pins as well, which means like many of the holes are played fairly different. So to give yourself an edge over your opponents, make sure to sign up to the best guides on the market. We give you direct guides based off the tournament win that you're having in Expert and Master, give you information on what club and ball and how to adjust to get yourself in the mix of being competitive. Obviously, we do have general text guides as well for those that do play for Pro and Rookie Division that you can check out too. But you can find all our packages on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Scan the QR code on the screen or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtommy in the description down below. That will take you to our page with all the packages. Then you select, sign up, and then you will get access immediately. So do like more than 3,000 players has done for this season, sign up and improve your game today. Hole number 5, if we do get a tailwind, then we are going to try to send it over to the final fairway. This will increase the chances for an albatross like a lot. Now, in today's climate as well, with a lot of topspin boost balls, there is most definitely a chance to send this ball to be close towards the green, because obviously those type of balls are going to have wind resistance 0. So if there is a good sort of tailwind, I think that's going to be the first way of looking at things to get ourselves there close towards the hole. However, though, if we do not have enough tailwind, or we do not have that type of ball, we can use an old classic ball, like the first ever fireworks ball released, which also was the first ball, I think, with some visual effects once it was in the air. You can see I'm adjusting max plus 10, and I'm looking to use enough topspin to clip the rough to consistently roll out there for a long iron towards the pin. But like I said, otherwise in tailwind, it's most likely going to be a possibility to send it. If you do have a headwind or a crosswind of tee, you cannot get over the water like that, then you will have to lay up, and from distance then you're gonna use a sniper instead. Now, this is obviously a much better scenario than having a sniper. A B52 from the rough like this, it's going to first and foremost not be much elevation with this type of play. We're going to play this one pretty massively uphill, meaning that even if you do have a high wind, it's not really going to be that many rings to pull. Now, minus 10% is more as an estimation from my end. The elevation here can definitely fluctuate between all from 0 up to like minus 30, minus 40 elevation to get the correct number. It all really depends on how you are designing your type of play, but you can see how uphill we are playing this here. Let's say that you are for a wedge by the green, we're going to play EB School plus 20 if you're sending it, and if you're playing with a sniper from distance, we judge the elevation to be 0. But you can hear as well, like on this particular hole, there are so many different ways that you can play this hole that it's hard to obviously cover all into a short little playthrough like this. So you have to look at the wind and then see the possibilities that you can play, especially when it comes to a tournament position. If you do play this type of hole in a tour play perspective, from a tour play perspective, or a checkpoint challenge perspective, it's all about taking as little risk possible and try to get at least the eagle. Hole number 6 is a very interesting par 4. Definitely the harder par 4 of the 3 that we do have of the Nordic Fjords, mainly as it is a longer one as well. If you do have a headwind or a crosswind or just a slight tailwind, we are going to lay up on the second fairway amongst them 3. So we're bouncing on the first one, and then we are ending up on the second one. Now, playing here with a Centurion with this type of max needle is honestly a bit ridiculous. Here we could use a ball with more power to make sure to have a less shaky needle, or we could back up and give ourselves a less shaky needle that way. But again, on this type of video here that you are seeing, we lay up short from here. We're going to have a long iron towards the pin. Let's say that you do have a strong tailwind, then you can most definitely send this ball to be close to the green, and that's obviously the way we want to go if we have that possibility, because even though we are playing into a nice spot when it comes to our B52 here, it's most definitely no gimme. So therefore, Ascend It is most definitely going to be the preferred choice if we do have the wind for it. Otherwise, if we don't, then we will be applying a layup situation here, using a little bit of I think it is backspin that I apply there, together with 3 right spin, trying to find the sticky spot that is on green, move around a little bit, or like wiggle around a little bit to find it in the best possible way. 10% elevation with your club distance. So in this case, we're very close to min line with our P6 ball. And then we are hitting a great ball. You can see here, if we have found the correct spot, we're definitely going to leave ourselves a chance with a great ball as well. So for hole number 7, I think we have found something really brilliant here, and I'm happy to share with you all. A yellow ring by the rough line, you start with a power 0 ball to find max distance. The final piece of the landing position puzzle is to have the tip of the ball guideline just falling into the dark green square row. Then we're switching to any power 2 plus ball together with wind 5 preferably. 2 right spin, 4 back spin, aiming for a straight pull. If favoring anything, I would like us to favor 12 or 1. Adjustment is 1 to 1 minus 0.2. So here for a 7.8 miles per hour, we play 7.6 rings. This is a tough par 3, and the angle we're having in the video is the angle with no curl. And this is, in my opinion, the money angle. Getting more crosswind, you're going to have to use some right curl or deduct adjustment, whatever you prefer. That's obviously going to be suggested in the guide. Hole number 7 offers a good chance for an hole-in-one in my opinion. Get the guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. For hole number 8 here of the Nordic Fjords, here we are going to go for pin. Now, we don't really have much tailwind here, so this is going to be some sort of double bounce over that small bunker. But if we do have a tailwind, we are always going to try to push to land before the small bunker over the water with our first bounce. If we can do that, the hole-in-one chances increases massively, and we're definitely going to see players having a chance for that. Now, in today's climate with a lot of good special balls out there, even if we do have a headwind, there will be ways using topspin boost or just with heavy wind resistance balls to still get the ball to the green. So this is a par 4 where I do believe an eagle is an absolute must. Otherwise, you're going to be one shot behind most of your opponents, especially if we're looking at it from a tournament perspective. Adjustment on the drive, max plus 10, and we can 10% elevation is that. And you can see that we bounce over the small bunker using quite a bit of topspin, coming in a little bit too far right to have a chance for an hole-in-one. But with a little bit more left spin or with applying the correct amount of curl, then we could most definitely be hunting the pin for an hole-in-one. If you happen to end up for a wedge, we are playing EB School plus 20% with that. So this is a par 4 where there will be loads of different alternatives when it comes to a hole like this. It's short par 4, and a lot of different golf balls and shot techniques will be applied. So if you do want to use Apocalypse here on the drive on hole number 9, we are starting with the Thor's hammer just as normal. Have in mind you need to have Apocalypse level 7 plus to be able to swap to that, and you will notice the benefit from doing so in just a bit. Top of plus 26 with Thor's hammer level 8 as already instructed, 7.8 top spin and 1 right spin. Playing with a luminary here as we are focusing on securing the eagle. This is a very difficult wind to grab an albatross on, and I feel it's unnecessary to actually force ourselves into spots where the albatross will be super rare, but might be possible if using the best ball and stuff. I feel that luminary is enough and we secure the eagle. You can see there that I swapped to Apocalypse and I dropped down from plus 26 to plus 21. And that's the beauty with being able to play with Apocalypse, because then all of a sudden you can play without overpower. Because if you're staying with Thor's hammer, as you see on the Thor's hammer drive video, there you can see that the Thor's hammer will be pulling into overpower, most especially in the higher winds. And if you do that, you're obviously going to have to use the overpower. But with Apocalypse, you don't pull into overpower, then you just center the ball and try to hit perfect, and that's obviously going to be easier than having to play with overpower. Second shot, we are going to use the fairway that is to the left. The reason we're not using the one to the right is because that one is not flat. It's very inconsistent bounces playing there. 5 top spin and 2 right spin. And you will notice that the second bounce will be approximately 1 ring into the rough. And for those playing with Cat 8 and Cat 7, will be having the red ring by the rough line like that. Adjustment is max plus 10 P5. as you're pulling down into the water, make sure that you don't pull too quick, so you're pulling straight. If you pull into overpower, you use whatever overpower you adjust into plus half a ring. If you don't pull into overpower, you still use half a ring of overpower to compensate for dropping down into the sand. Max call to the right hit perfect, great right, great left are fine, and you're gonna get yourself up by the green for a super simple wedge. The thing to have been said with the wedge is that if when you are playing the wedge, make sure to look for glitchy spots so you're not playing into them, so you're missing the wedge. That would be just so unnecessary. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Master Division with various wins for this tournament. I'm giving you my best advice on how to crush all the holes. If you do look for more content, you can find more free content on our website golfclashtommy.com, or just browse the YouTube channel a little bit more. But for those of you that are looking to take that little extra step, then you go and search for our premium guides. You can get to the platform by scanning the QR code, or you use the link in the description down below called patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Join the largest guide community on the market for premium guides, and that is us. And we would like to offer you our help to improve your game. So sign up to any of our packages, try for yourself, and see how we will improve and make you have more fun with the game of Golf Clash. Thank you so much once again for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your Golf Clash game.